Historical fertility data shows a steep downward trajectory since the 1970s. If unchecked, median male sperm count will hit zero by 2045. This decline has immediate consequences. 17% of young couples now require clinical intervention, like IVF, to conceive. Public discussion often focuses on genetics, natural aging, or the general stress of modern life. However, the data suggests a different set of causes. We live among endocrine disruptors. Synthetic chemicals like PFAS and microplastics mimic human hormones, interfering with biological signaling and physically embedding into our tissues. These chemicals accumulate in the body over time. Recent studies found microplastics lodged inside human placentas, circulating in breast milk, and present in 100% of tested human testicular tissue. Our bodies are responding to this interference. The fertility crisis is the predictable biological result of living in a chemically saturated environment. It is easy to assume this chemical burden is a universal side effect of modern industry, but when we compare different regions, that assumption falls apart. A regulatory chasm has opened between the United States and other developed nations. Many chemicals outlawed in Europe and Brazil remain entirely legal for use in the U.S. market. Living in the U.S. currently involves a level of mandated exposure to biological hazards that other citizens simply do not face. Geography has become a primary factor in biological health. This exposure starts in the bathroom. Chemicals in shampoos and lotions bypass the digestive system's filters and enter the bloodstream directly through the skin. Regulatory responses to these risks vary wildly. The European Union has banned over 1,500 chemicals from cosmetics. Canada has banned 550. The US FDA has restricted only 11. We see the same gap in agriculture. The US allows the use of 85 specific pesticides that are banned in the EU, China, and Brazil, leading to a much higher chemical load in the American food supply. Atrazine is a primary example. This herbicide acts as a chemical castrator in wildlife, dropping testosterone and stunting sperm. While the EU banned it 20 years ago, it remains a staple of American industrial farming. This chart lists the dirty dozen, produce with the highest pesticide residues. Harvard research found individuals prioritizing organic versions doubled successful birth rates. Choosing organic for strawberries, spinach, and kale significantly reduces toxic exposure. These crops are most vulnerable. Navigating the American grocery store now requires a level of tactical awareness that consumers in other countries do not need. The U.S. industrial food machine relies on additives like potassium bromate and titanium dioxide for texture and color. China. The water supply faces a similar crisis. Recent surveys indicate that at least 45% of U.S. tap water is contaminated with PFAS. These forever chemicals are directly linked to crashing sperm counts. This regulatory gap is sustained by intense corporate lobbying and a political environment that prioritizes economic convenience. When industrial volume is the goal, environmental safety often becomes a secondary concern. The long-term cost is measurable. 70 years ago, Swedes and Americans had nearly identical life expectancies. Today, Americans die 6 years earlier. Maternal mortality rates tell the same story. A mother in the U.S. is 50% more likely to die during childbirth than a mother in the next worst wealthy nation. The American regulatory system is built for industrial output. In a system focused on speed and corporate margins, biological health is frequently the first thing sacrificed. Waiting for government intervention is a losing strategy. Protecting your health requires you to intentionally design your own environment. The Total Reboot lifestyle begins by protecting the most vulnerable, pregnant women and children. Avoiding chemical exposure during the 270 days of gestation is the most effective way to secure a child's biological future. You can start today by eliminating synthetic cosmetics and switching to organic produce for the highest risk crops. Taking control of your immediate surroundings removes the majority of your daily chemical burden. This allows your body to function as it was designed to. Humans thrive in living ecosystems, not sterile industrial ones. This philosophy is the foundation for Bahia Reboot and Coastal Horizons Brazil, physical locations designed to support human biology. These communities operate on organic principles. They exclude the 85 pesticides used in the U.S. and utilize natural water filtration systems to ensure the groundwater remains free of synthetic toxins. Access to raw, uncompromised goods like jackfruit seed flour and cacao nibs provides the natural enzymes and nutrients that industrial processing removes. This is how food becomes a tool for restoration. Reclaiming health involves removing the synthetic obstacles interfering with our cells. When the environmental burden is lifted, the body begins to repair itself. Detoxifying your own life is the first step, but we must eventually address the machine that produces this toxicity. Coming up in Episode 7, Detoxifying Capitalism and How Our Society Must Change.